Gotta love a good intro, and we don't really love it here on this channel. Hello, I'm Spike, and welcome to another self-taught Japanese in Rosetta Stone 3. Again, apologies for missing yesterday. Things got out of hand, and I missed my timing slot for streaming. But I'm back today, so here I am looking at continuing on from these two modules that I did the other day, which are the listening modules, the core lesson 3, and then obviously it's repeat from the core lesson 2 material. Today it's going to be listening and reading. It says it's a bit longer, about 15 minutes. I'm going to assume that means it's probably about 18 to 20 slides, maybe more. We'll see how that goes with whatever is going to chuck at me today, as part of my this learning module. As per usual, we've got the usual suspects here, although they are currently in the wrong order. So before I begin, I'm going to show you what I usually show you, the old research materials, which are my alphabetized hiragana that I've pulled out of this program. The second sheet is obviously the numbers list with all of the tenses that I've managed to learn and pull out, including a couple of bits down here with like, here we go, on, in, or under. We got over here to work and to play. What else have we got? We got inside, outside, indoors, outdoors. Then we got morning, noon, midday, evening, and night for timings. So that's quite a full page. Then we've also got the last sheet, which has our days of the week. We've got a couple of phrases here: smelly, it's good, tastes bad, and it's delicious. We've got some seasons here: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And we've got a couple of bits here to taste and to smell. The example with the sentence here. And we've got days of the week, or just week, month, and year. And then we've got a question here pulled from the program. What do you like to do? With an example here, or a couple of examples actually, from an exercise I pulled it from. And then we've got the last major things that I've done. Yori, which is the positive of a sentence, and Hodo, which is the negative of the sentence, with the two examples that I pulled it from, with a couple of notes. And then on the back of this sheet, in the last video, I did start writing down some other bits and pieces. Kono is this and that. Kirui is light. Omoi is heavy. Osoi slow. Hayai fast. And we got over here a little bit messy, but we got more, or even more with motto. And Ichiban, which is the mostest, which obviously carries on from the more, even more, and then mostest. Then we got Chisai, which is small or little. Orki, which is large or big. We've got a couple of extras here. We've got Okai, which is the young I adjective. And then we've got Toshi or Toto, which is old or elder, as in they've gotten old. And then we got here an example of that. And a negative example too. Just to aid the memory outside of the program for encountering certain things, and also for when in the program with the current material that I'm currently learning, just so that I can, take a glance and remind myself what it is that the sentence might be asking of me. Very useful. So, without further ado, thank you for joining. If you have, you can catch this channel at twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina as I load up and get the microphone set up. Ichi ni san yon go. Setup successful. Let's jump right in, shall we? What am I going to get presented with? 15 slides today. Ki, which is wood.
Kinzoku.
Kinzoku, which is metal.
Kami.
Kami, which is paper. Or if you're talking about the body and above head, hair.
Plastic.
And plastic is for plastic. There we go. A little bit on the nose, a little bit on the easy. A nice easy start to these slides, but I envisage it will get harder in stages of 3s or 4s. So we'll ramp up through 3, and 4 will probably be the harder one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the
私はプラスチックのコップを持っています。
So my cup is made of plastic.
私は木のテーブルを持っています。
My table is made of wood. 私は木のテーブルを持っています。I should be doing
私は
example,
金
shouldn't I?
属のテーブルを持っています。
And my table is made of metal. 私は金属のテーブルを持っています。
僕は紙のコップを持っています。
僕は紙のコップを持っています。My cup is made of paper. So there we are. Watashi is the female form, so it's the polite, proper form for I, my, etc. Oh, thank you very much, Benji. It's OBS again. I've updated it, and once again, we have audio issues. Good job, someone's listening in. A classic continuous listener. Thank you very much, dude. Much appreciated. Although I can't actually turn it up any further. It has reached its perigee of maximum volume today for some reason. Interesting. Bear with me while I just filter this gain on a little bit more. I don't want to go too far because then obviously ends up too sensitive. Let's go up another decibel. Maybe that'll be better. That looks a bit better. There we go. So apologies if that first slide was a little bit on the quiet side. Thank you very much, Benji. Shameless plug, go check out anyone, Benobis TV on Twitch for your gaming stream entertainment. Thanks very much, dude. Much appreciated. So yes, apologies if the first slide audio was a little on the quiet side. Again, updated OBS, started streaming this video, and the microphone volume just gets hijacked, and it makes no sense. It doesn't really represent what the DV is doing there. So hopefully you'll now be able to hear me properly over these audios. Let's go to slide 3. Let's see what we've got.
これはプラスチックでできています。
これはプラスチックでできています。It's made of plastic. I wonder if it's the wheelie bit. It is the wheelie bit.
これは紙でできています。
これは紙でできています。So it's made of paper. So it's got to be the bag.
これは金属でできています。
これは金属でできています。It's made of metal. Yeah, so that's the
これは木でできています。
slash teapot. これは木でできています。It's made of wood. I'm going for the boat. Fantastic. Let's move on to slide 4. That's not so shabby.
私は現金で払っています。
She's paying with money, as in paper money. 現金 and 払って. 払って is to pay. So it's got to be this.
彼らはコインで払っています。
彼らはコインで払っています。So they are paying with coins. Pretty self-explanatory.
彼女は小切手で払っています。
Not so obvious. 彼女は小切手で払っています。She's paying by check. That's 小切手.
彼はクレジットカードで払っています。
I do love it when the stereotype of Japanese shines through to Western English as they appropriate our words because they don't have it in Japanese. So, credito cardo. It's the credit card. It's the one down here on the bottom left. 彼はクレジットカードで払っています。Let's go for the credit card. There we go. All forms of payment. Fantastic. So we've got most of what we've learned in the last few slides in this particular series, in this unit.
小切手で払いますか？
いいえ、現金で払います。
クレジットカードで払いますか？
Okay, so the first one, 小切手で払いますか is, are you paying by check? いいえ, no. Genkin de haramais. So I'm paying with cash. Credito cardo de haramais ka. Are you paying by credit cards? And no, that doesn't look like a credit card to me. That looks like a check. So, ie kogite de haramais.
いいえ、小切手で払います。
Nice. Pronunciation might be a little bit off, but I can work on that. Again, it's learning the sentence responses fluently after a couple of rounds, you know. So here we go. Are you paying with are you paying with cash? Genkin de haramasu ka?
現金で払いますか
And she's no. Ie, credito cardo de haramasu.
いいえ、クレジットカードで払います。
Fantastic. Not too bad for a third of the way through. Let's get over the hump. Let's go
こ
down to
の
6.
サングラスは安いです。
Oh, so yasui this is that expensive? No, it's cheap. Yasui is cheap and takai is expensive. So these sunglasses are cheap. Kono sunglassu wa yasui desu. There we go.
このサングラスは高いです。
There's the expensive one, takai. So kono sunglassu wa takai desu.
このカメラは高いです。
Kono camera wa takai desu. This camera's expensive. Ta-da! This is the top
こ
right.
のカメラは安いです。
Fantastic. And this camera is cheap. Kono camera wa yasui desu. Here we go. So we've got the expensive sunglasses. These sunglasses are expensive. These sunglasses are cheap. This camera is cheap. This camera is expensive. Let's go slide 7. Nearly halfway.
このテレビは重いです。
Kono terebi wa omoi desu. This TV is heavy.
このコインは軽いです。
This coin is light. Kono coin wa karui desu.
このテーブルは重いです。
Kono teburu wa omoi desu. This table is heavy.
このシーツは軽いです。
Kono shitsu wa karui desu. This sheet is light. There we go. So this table is heavy. This sheet is light. This TV is heavy. This coin is light. So again, once you break down the individual, it's easier to see with the Western English appropriated words into Japanese language, where they use generic kanji to describe those, which ironically are the most familiar Japanese kanji that we would be familiar with in any kind of pop culture.
このワンピースは安いです。
Kono one piece wa yasui desu. This dress is cheap.
この車は安いです。
Kono kuruma wa yasui desu. This car is cheap.
このドレスは高いです。
What? That's not what it says.
このドレスは高いです。
Here we have a classic bug that hasn't been worked out at QC in the program, where the audio doesn't match the sentence, and yet we need to select the right
この
picture.
車は高いです。
Kono kuruma wa takai desu. I'm skipping this one and not mentioning it until we get to here, because this is the sentence that you would be expecting, but the audio does not match.
このドレスは高いです。
Roesawa. I assume that Roesawa is another word for a dress. However, I'm not being taught that in this program at all, not once. And also, it does not match the text that comes with the slide and this audio. So naturally assume it's a mistake. And we will take from the example the other 3 of what's going on here up to this point of learning and understanding Japanese in this program, that the text is correct, the audio is wrong. So in this case, I will be learning this with this phrase, kono one piece wa yasui desu, with takai instead. And I will ignore the audio word that replaces one piece. for this instance, like I've mentioned in a couple of videos before where this has occurred, and I've pointed it out and gone, no, that's not correct, as it imparts learning or making a mistake in this program in selecting something else, particularly in the early videos where it was happening, until I figured out what was going on after it happened a couple of times in a row. Very frustrating to the learning process when there is an issue like this. But I suppose you could liken it to having an exam and being given a question where the answers are wrong, where they just, you get given a maths exam and you end up, instead of it being a algebraic question, it ends up being a trigonomic question, for example, and you're dealing with what you're answering. Are you answering with the answers that provided? You got to show you're working for the question that doesn't exist, or do you give the answer to the question where the answer that's given isn't actually the field that you're being questioned in? So, この車は安いです。This car is cheap. このワンピースは安いです。This dress is cheap. この車は高いです。This car is expensive. And このワンピースは高いです。This dress is expensive. Let's go slide 9.
紙のボールはもっと軽いです。
Oh, 紙のボールはもっと軽いです。This paper bowl is light.
彼の本はもっ
Oh,
と
it's very
重い
light.
です。
I should say, 彼の本はもっと重いです。He is carrying even more heavy books. Yeah. Or the books he's carrying are even heavier.
私の本は重いです。
I'm carrying heavy books. Or he's carrying even heavier books. But yes, 私の本は重いです。I'm carrying heavy books.
プラスチックのボールは軽いです。
The plastic bowl is light. プラスチックのボールは軽いです。Slightly different when talked about in context with subjectively rather than objectively. 私の本は重いです。My books are heavy. 彼の本はもっと重いです。His books are even heavier. プラスチックのボールは軽いです。The plastic bowl is light. 紙のボールはもっと軽いです。The bowl is even lighter.
このカメラは小さいです。
This camera is small. And then the next one is もっと小さいです。
このカメラはもっと小さいです。
Fantastic. And then we're going to go with the 一番小さいです, which is even smaller. このカメラが一番小さいです。
このカメラが一番小さいです。
Yeah, brilliant. So then we've got this house is big. この家は大きいです。Or large.
この家は大きいです。
Then we're going to go with この家はもっと大きいです。This house is even bigger.
この家はもっと大きいです。
And then the same as above, 一番大きいです。この家が一番大きいです。This house is even bigger.
この家が一番大きいで
Oh,
す。
even larger. Only in context of the previous and then the previous. Going from 大きい to もっと大きい to 一番大きい. So from large, even larger still, essentially. Let's go to number
こ
11.
の若い男の人は医者です。
This man is a doctor. この若い男の人は医者です. And just to make sure, where did I put it? Was it in this? No, I'm sure I had wakai somewhere. Where did I have wakai? Did I have wakai? Maybe I'm making it up. I might have made it up that I have wakai. Oh no, this young man. There we go. Wakai is young, I objective, next to Toshi or Toto, old or elder. So kono wakai otoko no shito wa isha desu. This young man is a doctor. Ta-da.
この年を取った女の人は医者です。
This elder lady is a doctor. Kono toshi o toto onna no hito wa isha desu. There we go.
この若い女の人は先生です。
This young lady is a teacher. Kono wakai onna no hito wa sensei desu. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Meant to do that.
この年を取った男の人は先生です。
This kono toshi o tota elder otoko no hito man wa is sensei desu. Teacher there is. Essentially. Yes, this elder gentleman, this elder man, this older man is a teacher. Ta-da! Fantastic stuff. Well, I was expecting this to be a little bit more difficult than it is, but I think having rehashed the previous material up to this point, maybe the last couple of modules will
私
be.
のお医者さんは若いです。
My doctor is young.
僕のお医者さんは年をとっています。
My doctor is. Hang on a second. So that was my doctor is younger. 僕のお医者さんは年をとっています。My doctor is older. It's going to be this one because we're at boku no, which is young boy, almost exclusively. So rather than young
私
man.
のおじいさんは年をとっています。
My grandfather is older. Or my grandfather is old. 私のおじいさんは年をとっています。
私の娘は幼いです。
my no musume wa daughter is young. Osanai desu. There we go. Watashi no musume wa osanai desu. My daughter is young. Boku no oisha-san desu. Oisha-san desu. Wa toshi o totemasu. Oh my god, I butchered that. Let's try again, Spike. Boku no oisha-san wa toshi o totemasu. My doctor is older. Watashi no oisha-san wa wakai desu. God, that's a bit of a tongue twister for me for some reason. My doctor is younger, or is young even. Watashi no oji-san wa toshi o tottemasu. My grandfather is old. Let's go slide 13.
私の娘は幼いです。
My daughter is young. 私の娘はもっと幼いです。My daughter is younger.
私の娘はもっと幼いです。
Yep. And then 私の娘が一番幼いです。My daughter is even younger.
私の娘が一番幼いです。
Which is in context to obviously the previous two sentences, which is why we can go from osanai to moto osanai and then into ichiban osanai. And then we reverse it. So we start with this one. Boku no otou-san wa toshi o totemasu. My dad is old.
僕のお父さんは年をとっています。
Then we go into motto toshi o totemasu, which is this one. Boku no otou-san wa motto toshi o totemasu. My father is older. Oh, it's even older. Sorry, context.
僕のお父さんはもっと年をとっています。
And then we go for the same as above, Ichiban, because we're going from motto onwards, so we're getting even older. Boku no otou-san ga ichiban toshi o tottemasu. My father
僕
is
のお
even
父さん
older.
が一番年をとっています。
Lovely stuff. So we can see the progression here in what I now have on my resource sheet of old, more, even more than mostest. For Ichiban, obviously inverted commas because mostest. We don't really use that much in the word. I'm pretty sure it's redundant. Oh, it's the mostest. but essentially that's the scale of context in this language of these words that we are dealing with in the translation for Japanese for the context of the sentence to make sense. So let's go to number 14. Two from the
彼
end.
女は本を持っています。
She has some books. 彼女は本を持っています。She has some books. 彼女はもっとたくさんの本を持っています。She has even more books.
彼女はもっとたくさんの本を持っています。
Or she's carrying even more books. And then we go into Ichiban. So 彼女が一番たくさんの本を持っています。She's carrying even more books.
彼女が一番たくさんの本を持っています。
Fantastic. So then we're going to have the same here. 彼はペンを持っています。He has pens.
彼はペンを持っています。
And then we're going to go for 彼はもっとたくさんのペンを持っています。He's holding even more pens.
彼はもっとたくさんのペンを持っています。
Lovely stuff. We're getting this right. It's good. And then 彼が一番たくさんのペンを持っています。He's carrying even, or he's holding even more pens.
彼が一番たくさんのペンを持っています。
And again, we can see how we're utilizing this context with the sentence above, with the pictorial that's given us the context, and then the progression therein is obvious with the books, and then the same for the pens. And obviously, it's given us a she has and he has. So we've got both sides of the mask and the fem of the language. So let's go to the last slide.
男の人はケーキを食べています。
He is eating some cake. Yep.
女の子が一番大きいケーキを食べています。
She has even more cake. She has the most cake.
女の人はもっと大きいケーキを食べていま
And
す。
she has more cake than this guy. So, 男の人はケーキを食べています。Oh, come on. I should have clicked the X. Never mind. Well, that was that slide. I wasn't thinking or paying attention with the scorecard on that one. And I don't want to have to go into it to redo it to get to that one slides to repeat. My apologies. However, it did show only the answers right towards the ends to go through, and I went through them on that slide correctly anyway. And you could see the previous 2-3 slides we were building up with the initial phrase, and then more than, motto, and then the object, and then ichiban, and then the object for even more than the previous. So I think you can see in the context of learning where that was going, where that was heading, and what that final module pictorial slide exercise was attempting to get us to do. Which is to do it off the cuff without the reference of the order. So, and it tried to confuse by putting first, last, and then the middle. Just to see if you're paying attention. So now we're going to do the listening and reading module from this section here, the core lessons beforehand, and it's going to be a little bit easier, but
女
it's
の
way more
人
of a
たちはサッカーをしています。
We're back to the sport, Benji. We get to see a lot more of the golf. Fantastic. We do love this. So, 女の人たちはサッカーをしています. And that's ladies playing football.
女の人たちはゴルフをしています。
Yes, 女の人たちはゴルフしています. Yeah, they're playing golf. Nearly clicked the wrong picture.
女の人たちはテニスをしています。
女の人たちはテニスをしています. And the ladies are playing tennis. Fantastic. So there's our slide work. Let's go to slide 2.
男の子とお父さんは映画を見ています。
男の子とお父さんは映画を見ています. So the boy and his father are watching a movie.
彼らはラジオを聞いています。
彼らはラジオを聞いています. They are listening to the radio. 彼らは or they are. Radio is the object, obviously, and octe is the adjective, so they are listening to. Ta-da.
この人たちは演劇を見ています。
この人たちは演劇を見ています。They are watching a play. 演劇 is a play. They are, in plural, この人たち, they are, because it's a plural of people, nondescript. So it's just a pluralization of people. Those people, they are. And then obviously omite is to watch. Ta-da! And there's our phrases. Let's go to slide 3. Let's get through these.
男の人と女の人はお茶を飲んでいます。
The man and the woman are drinking tea. Otoko no shito, man, to onna no shito, woman. Also adults here. Wa ocha, tea, or nonde, drink, imas, there is. Otoko no shito to onna no shito wa ocha o nonde imasu. Sorry, it was a little bit broken, but that's them drinking tea.
女の子はジュースを飲んでいます。
Okay, so then we've got the little girl. Onanoko wa juice o nonde imasu. Juice, pretty obvious juice, and she's drinking it. So there we go.
男の人は人参を食べています。
Otoko no shito wa, it's our man, and he is tabete imasu. Eating, tabete, is to eat, and he's eating ninjin, which is the carrot. Because the next one's going to
女の
be
人はオレンジを食べています。
orangey. I wonder what that could be. I think it might be the fruit or the orange. And it's a lady who's eating it. Onna no shito wa orangey o tabete imasu. The lady is eating an orange. There we go. Fantastic stuff. Let's go to slide 4.
私はオレンジよりリンゴの方が好きです。
Ah, I like oranges. Or is it I like oranges more than apples? No, I like apples more than oranges because that's the one that's the bigger. Which again feels weird when you're seeing orange first, apple, ringo later. So watashi wa oranji yori ringo no honga suki desu. And yori is on my sheet. It's the positive. So it's you have more of something. It's the positive. It doesn't change it to dewa arimasen. Or anything like that. So there we go.
私はコーヒーよりお茶の方が好きです。
And we can tell from this slide particularly, or at least this is the one that I picked up and learned, how yori is, I prefer this over something else. And it usually comes after the thing that they prefer. So it's the thing that's after yori that's the favored. In this sentence structure, watashi wa kohi yori ocha no honga suki desu. I like tea more than coffee, sorry. Because she's drinking tea right now and she's handing off the coffee, even though it's there. And we'll find out the same when we reach this man in the bottom left-hand corner, where he's showing us a glass of milk that he prefers over the juice. And gyunyu is after juice. So
私はジュースより牛乳の方が好きです。
So I like milk more than juice. 私はジュースより牛乳の方が好きです。
私はサッカーよりテニスの方が好きです。
I like tennis more than football. 私はサッカーよりテニスの方が好きです。Even though the tennis stuff is behind him, he's just like, No, I might play football, but I'm in my tennis gear. I'm playing tennis. I like tennis more. Let's go to slide 5.
彼はオレンジが好きです。
He likes oranges. 彼はオレンジが好きです。It's this guy in the bottom.
彼はオレンジが好きではありません。
ではありません is the negative, does not like. So 彼はオレンジが好きではありません. He does not like oranges. Hence the
彼はこのコンサートが好きではありません。
he doesn't like concerts, probably because they're loud. Look at him covering his face. Looks a little Edward Snowden-esque though in this picture, but not this one. 彼はこのコンサートが好きではありません。
彼は このコンサートが好きです。
彼はこのコンサートが好きです。And he prepares concerts. Ah. It's the same guy, though. What? I just noticed that in this slide. It's the same guy. He likes the concert. He doesn't like the concert. It's because it's the classical concert versus the band concert. Maybe that's the reason why. Pooty. No offense, but Pooty. I love classical music as much as I like a gig, but I prefer to go to a gig over like a philharmonic or something, unless it was, it precipitated that I should be going to that theatre performance, that orchestra.
何をするのが好きですか
Maybe something like a rendition of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds or something. That would be incredible. But then it's a different medium, isn't it? Anyway, nani o suru no ga suki desu ka? What do you like? And she likes listening to the radio. So, watashi wa radio o kiku no ga suki desu ka? Suki desu. Yeah, that's correct. I'm
私
tripping
は
up over my
ラ
words.
ジオを聞くのが好きです。
Yeah, I did have the kiku. Because some of them have got that soft when you hit the I in the second, as the second phonetic of a word in Japanese. So here we go. Nani o suru no ga suki desu ka?
何をするのが好きですか
I was a little bit rounded and mumbly with that middle section. Suru no ga suki desu ka? But it's getting a little bit more curved and natural in being able to say it, which is good. And she likes cooking. Watashi wa ryori o suru no ga suki desu.
私は料理をするのが好きです。
Oh, I was way too soft on that. Should have been a bit more pointed in my pronunciation. But there we go. There we go. Number 7. Let's go slide 7.
男の人は奥さんほどたくさんのお茶を持っていません。
Well, they're talking about tea. It's going to be the bottom left-hand guy, isn't it? So, 男の人は奥さんほどたくさんのお茶を持っていません. So he does not have as much tea as his partner, as his wife. So man 男の人は奥さん wife ほどたくさん with 持っていません does not have as much as, and then the object tea, not ocha. So 男の人は奥さんほどたくさんのお茶を持っていません. He does not have as much tea as his wife.
女の子は友達ほど大きいパンを持っていません。
女の子は友達ほど大きいパンを持っていません. She doesn't have as big a piece as her friend. Or her bread isn't as large. Her bread isn't as large as her friend's. 大きいパン. Pan is bread. 大きい is large or big. And 持っていません obviously isn't as big. ほど negative. And 友達 is her friend. Cisco.
男の人は息子さんほど大きいケーキを持っていません。
The man doesn't have as much cake as his son. 男の人は息子さんほど大きいケーキを持っていません. I half sang that, I know. I'm being weird. But yeah, the man, 男の人は, and 息子さん is son. ほど大きいケーキ, his cake isn't as big as を持っていません. Or there isn't as much or as large a cake slice for the man as the son. But this guy down here, look at the size
女
of
の
his cakes.
人は息子さんほどたくさんのジュースを持っていません。
So, here we go. 女の人は息子さんほどたくさんのジュースを持っていません. The lady doesn't have as much juice as her son. Lady, 女の人. 息子さん, again, son. ほどたくさんのジュースを持っていません. Doesn't have as much juice. Well, there it is. Look, you can see it in the glasses there. Fantastic. So again, we've got the male and female opposite positions of who has the most or doesn't have as much as the other person in the picture. So it's teaching us both the male and female way round for the various objects here, which shows how you can interchange what you're after in which place. So You can have wife here, you can have friend here, you can have son, daughter, or anything like that. So long as you're talking about the person first, and then whether it's a positive or a negative. So in the previous one, it's yori for they have more than, or they're the one that has it. In this one, it's hodo, and then the size of said object and whether they have it or not, or moteimasen, more of or less of. Let's go to slide 8.
どちらの靴が好きですか？
Which shoes are you gonna buy? Yeah. どちらの靴が好きですか? Or which shoes do you like? Sorry. And she's gonna say she likes the blue ones, because watashi wa aoi shatsu yori kuroi shatsu no hou ga suki desu ka? Oh no, wait, that's not it. They're on about she likes the blue shoes more than the green shoes. Watashi wa midori no kutsu yori aoi kutsu no hou ga suki desu. Sorry, let me try that again. That was butchered. Watashi wa midori no kutsu yori aoi kutsu no hou ga suki desu. Yeah!
私は緑の靴より青い靴の方が好きです。
Yes, because she prefers the green, the blue shoe, aoi, to the green shoe, midori, and kutsu being shoe. Now, dochira no shatsu ga suki desu ka? Which
ど
shirt
ち
do
ら
you
のシャ
like?
ツが好きですか？
And then this is the one that I was pointing to. It's watashi wa aoi shatsu yori kuroi shatsu no hou ga suki desu. She prefers the black shirt over the blue shirt.
私は青いシャツより黒いシャツの方が好きです。
Here we go. Let's go to slide 9. Halfway
ど
there.
ちらの自転車が好きですか？
Which bike do you like? Dochira no jitensha bike. And ga suki desu ka? And she likes the green bike over the green. She likes the green bike over the pink bike. So watashi wa pinku no jitensha yori midori no jitensha no hou ga suki desu. Yeah.
私はピンクの自転車より緑の自転車の方が好きです。
Yeah. Not bad. Now we're going to have dochira no one piece ga suki desu ka? Which dress do you like?
どちらのワンピースが好きですか？
I'm not going to say too much about this slide. She's asking the man which dress he likes. Oh, the ultimate trap. He prefers the red dress over the white dress because he wants his lady in red. Watashi wa shiroi one piece yori akai one piece no hou ga suki desu.
私は白いワンピースより赤いワンピースの方が好きです。
Fantastic. We love it. Absolutely love it. Love getting these correct. It's fantastic. Getting used to the form of Japanese language sentence structure. It's great. It's just ultimately knowing the grammatical words that tie in between the ones that I do know, and then having it commanded to memory where it's immediately
こ
recallable.
の男の子はサッカーが好きです。
This boy likes soccer.
この男の子は人参が好きではありません。
This boy doesn't like carrots. この男の子は人参は好きです. Oh, I'm butchering it. Reverse. この男の子は人参が好きではありません. Why is my brain just... It's completely stroking out on が好きではありません for some reason. But anyway.
この女の子はジュースが好きではありません。
この女の子はジュースが好きではありません. She doesn't like her juice. Or she doesn't like juice.
この女の子は馬が好きです。
馬 horse. この女の子は馬が好きです. She likes horses. Fantastic. I do love these repeat slides. Sometimes they are actually super easy, particularly when you've done a really hard version of the
シャ
slide
ツは
beforehand.
12ポンドです。
Oh, Shatsu wa 12 pondo desu. This shirt is £12. Juni being 12,
本
pondo being
は
pounds.
15ドルです。
Ah, hon wa 15 dollars desu. This book is $15. Jugo 15 and doru.
サングラスは20ユーロです。
Ah, well, we know what the euro is, don't we? Niju is 20 because it's two tens. Ju being tens and ni being two, so niju yoru desu. Two tens. Sunglasses wa niju yoru desu. These sunglasses are 20 euros. Slide 12, let's go.
人参はいくらですか？
How much are these carrots? Ninjin wa ikura desu ka? Ikura desu ka? How much? And these carrots are $3. Ninjin wa 3ドルです。
人参は3ドルです。
What do we got here? Oh, we got, is it teapot? Okay. Ocha wa ikura desu ka? How much is this tea?
お茶はい
How
く
much
ら
is the
です
tea?
か？
And she's going to say 2 euro. So let's have a look. Oh, ocha wa 2 euro です。
お茶は
The
2
tea
ユ
is
ーロ
2
です。
euros. Fantastic. So we're looking for another question again. It's going to be one of these two. We've already had the tea, so it must be ega because we're on about tickets, which is chiketo. Ega no chiketo wa ikura desu ka? How much is the movie ticket or the film ticket? Yeah, movie
映
ticket.
画のチケットはいくらですか？
And this is going to be ega no chiketo wa 9 pondo desu. The movie ticket is 9 pounds. Pondo desu.
映画のチケットは9ポンドです。
Fabulous. Absolutely amazing. Oh, unlucky number 13, but we've got to get on it to get through it.
コ
So
ン
let's
サー
go.
トのチケットは映画のチケットより高いです。
So the other thing I find with this program is that once you've done enough of it, as soon as you see the slide and you get a first prompt like this, you can immediately go and select it. But then the context within that picture, obviously they're adding more and more information as I've been going through this series. And it makes more sense when you're breaking down at this stage what you've learned, when you're checking out the picture that quickly and associating it to the correct slide. It's then easier to then concentrate on breaking down the contents of the slide. So, コンサートのチケットは映画のチケットより高いです。So, the concert ticket is more than the movie ticket.
テレビはサングラスより高いです。
The television is more expensive than the sunglasses. テレビはサングラスより高いです。
帽子はコートより安いです。
The hat, no, the coat is more expensive than the hat. 帽子は, so 帽子 is hat, コート, obviously coat, より安いです。Oh no, it's cheaper then. Sorry. My bad.
新聞は
We're doing
本
less
よ
than.
り
Yeah,
安いです。
新聞は本より安いです。So this is short form for objects. So you're doing the object that is cheaper first. Or more expensive first. So 新聞は本より安いです. Which is slightly different when it's objectively or subjectively spoken about, because then it reverses. That's weird. Learn something new every day. Anyway, let's go to slide 14. Let's go.
紫の自転車は黄色の自転車より安いです。
Well, we're on about Murasaki, which is the purple bike, and Kiro, the yellow bike. Kiro no jitensha. So Murasaki no jitensha wa Kiro no jitensha yori yasui desu. Because the purple bike, Murasaki no jitensha, is cheaper than the yellow bike.
黒い電話は白い電話より高いです。
The black phone is more expensive than the white phone. Kuroi, black, denwa phone, wa shiroi, white, denwa phone, yori takai desu. More expensive then.
青いズボンは緑のズボンより高いです。
Aoi zubon, blue pants or blue trousers, wa midori no zubon, midori zubon, green trousers, yori takai desu. More expensive than.
黒いサングラスは赤いサングラスより安いです。
And if you haven't figured it out at the end, then obviously this is the last slide. Kuroi sunglassu wa akai sunglassu yori yasui desu. The black sunglasses are cheaper than the red sunglasses. Sorry. What was I about to say then? I think we know. Oh, my brain is really not on path today. It's out of sorts, but oh well.
この男の人はゴルフが好きです。
Yes, a man who plays golf is the first slide. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sorry, I'm biased. この男の人はゴルフが好きです. Listen to how fluid that came out
こ
of my
の
mouth.
女の子は赤い靴が好きではありません。
See, this is the one thing that I find with being neurodivergent and having certain mental illnesses that carry certain symptoms when it comes to living and challenges. When you're that invested in something, or you're just naturally excited and invested, or enjoy something, you generally tend to be really good in the attentiveness and concentration of that thing, even when it's compartmentalized to silly little things like this, where, yep, I can say that golf phrase because I like golf way better than I can say a lot of the other Japanese phrases just because I happen to really like golf. I have a shared interest in it. It's the same for music. It's the same for gaming. As soon as you touch on that nerve, it seems to me, or particularly for me anyway, that my brain just goes, and it's just not quite flow state, but it seems to have a vested interest in immediately just knowing and latching onto that information and getting it right. Whereas it struggles more and more so further and further away from those things that I enjoy and that I like. Which is, it's just one of those pitfalls of certain things. But it's a pattern of subconscious behavior in cranial and neuropathic response in the brain for myself. It's something to be aware of, I think. Once you are aware of it, because it's that easy to gravitate towards the things that you're actually going to be naturally good at without too much challenge, because it comes easy. Even if it's a silly little compartmentalized link up like that. Anyway, just thought it was worth a mention. But that's a kind of a noticeable observation that I'm employing in my techniques in being able to pick out patterns of behavior, patterns of learning, patterns of recognition when it comes to learning and teaching myself stuff like this entire series. So it's quite a useful technique or a useful perception to have of oneself to then apply to other things. And again, I'm going to shout you out again, Benji, because I know you're listening. But if there's one thing that you've ever said to me that I will gladly share with anyone else, one of the best techniques to employ this practice is when you're really struggling to do something. And I'll use this example. For example, trying to wash up some plates or bowls in the kitchen, right? One of the most basic things that my good friends taught me that I'm going to share with the world is when you are struggling with a task like this, what else can you do inside that room that you would normally do, that you can do for a minute or two, and whilst in there, also complete or start another task? And his example was making a cup of tea. Every time you go in, if you're someone who drinks a lot of tea or coffee, every time you go and brew the kettle, put on the washing up. Even if you just run the hot water with soap and put the stuff in the bowl, and you leave it to soak for a bit. You have your cup of tea, you finish your cup of tea, you go back, you go to put your cup on the side, do the first couple of plates with that cup, and bugger off. Next time you go to make another cup of tea, those 2-3 minutes as that kettle's boiling, wash up the next 3 or 4 plates until the kettle's stopped boiling. Then make your cup of tea, go off, do your thing. Well, you do that enough times with a very simple, basic train of thought to remind yourself to do that each time you enter that room. You'll find that the job that you don't like ends up getting done, and you end up being able to sort of rewire your brain into that being a routine each time you enter that room. Which, if it's something you've put off and struggled with through an anxiety or hitting a brick wall in learning, or just not knowing how to get around a problem, sometimes that outward training, that outward thinking and awareness can really bring you some time to re-engage with the activity that you're putting off. And it's the same with pitfalls in observation when trying to learn, when it comes to things like languages or like physics and other subjects and such, where it might be quite hard to get into a subject because it's so dense and crunchy, or you might put it off because it seems like quite a thing to undertake. But again, if you are consistent enough to just chip away with little bits and remind yourself to, oh, I need to do this today. I'm in this room. I'm going to spend a few minutes to do this thing, and then put it down. And I'm going to leave the room and go on to the next thing. Next time you come back into the room, remember to pick up the thing that you didn't finish up. And you'll be surprised how quick that it actually ends up starting to get done. And if you're doing that each time that you're doing the thing, you'll find that it becomes autonomous, because you're automatically then reminded to do it without having to remind yourself. And it can really get you out of a rut when it comes to relearning something or reteaching yourself something or trying to start a process that you otherwise put off. I find that in this, particularly as I've just said, having an association to something I like, that makes the phrase of speaking about golf way easier than most of the other Japanese, because it's just a natural. I'm gravitating towards liking golf because I play it. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind, guys and girls out there. Anyway, on to the next phrase. Kono nanako wa akai kutsu ga suki de wa arimasen. This girl does not like her red shoes.
こ
Lovely.
の男の子はテニスが好きではありません。
この男の子はテニスが好きではありません. This boy doesn't like tennis. Boy, 男の子, tennis, and 好きではありません does not like. ただ、
この女の人たちはお茶が好きです。
these or those ladies, 女の人たちはお茶が好きです. Like tea. Hey, there we go. Here's our favourite phrase. この男の人はゴルフが好きです。That man likes golf. Let's go to slide 16.
どちらのスカートが好きですか？
どちらのスカートが好きですか? Which skirt do you like? どちら which skirt do you like? And she likes the blue one. So it's going to be this one, surely. 私は白いスカートより青いスカートの方が好きです。ただ、
私は白いスカートより青いスカートの方が好きです。
Brilliant stuff. So then we're going to go down to here, which is on about shirts, because it's now a man about shirts. Aoi shatsu wa ikura desu ka? How much for the blue shirts?
青いシャツはいくらですか？
Fantastic. He's going to say 7 euro desu, because 7 is 7. Even though
7
individually
ユーロです。
I have it down as shichi, but it gets changed to nana. I haven't quite figured out why yet. Even in learning it in this program, it's just weird, but it's just one of those numbers, I suppose. But I do need to research why shichi becomes nana. Because shichi is 7 by itself, but nana is used in context in conversation. I'm not too sure why they interchange those two words. Anyway, let's go to slide 17.
どちらのセーターが好きですか？
Which sweater do you like? どちらのセーターが好きですか? And I like the grey sweater over the purple sweater. 私は紫 purple のセーターより灰色のセーター、灰色 grey の方が好きです。
私は紫のセーターより灰色のセーターの方が好きです。灰色のセーターはいくらですか？
How much for the grey sweater? 灰色のセーターはいくらですか? She's going to say 29ドルです. Because 20 is 2 tens. 2, 10, 9. So it's $29.
29ドルです。
Hey, we love it. We love it. Let's go on to the last 2 slides for this video as we just hit the 1 hour mark. Fantastic. Number 18. So, here we are. どちらの靴が好きですか? No, it's not even that one. It's ikura desu ka? You got to be kidding me, right? Oh no, it's nani o suru no ga suki desu ka?
何
I'm
を
an
す
idiot.
るのが好き
I
で
didn't
す
see
か
that one at the end. I
私は
completely
サッ
ignored it.
カーをするのが好きです。
Ah, so what do you like to play? I like football. Oh, what do you like? I like football. It says in the sports shop. Yeah, watashi wa saka o suru no ga suki desu. Okay. どちらの靴が好きですか? Which shoes do you like?
どちらの靴が好きですか
Aha,
私は黒い靴の方が好きです。
I like the black boots. I like the black shoes. Okay, she's going to ask, いくらですか? How much are they? He's
い
going to
く
say,
らですか?
60ユーロです。
60ユーロです。
They're 60 euros. Fabulous. So, my apologies on that first question. I didn't see the end slide because I just did not even register that that had a question in it. So I immediately went for the only one that I saw. See, getting ahead of myself. Fantastic. But, you know, got to have that slight mistake in there to help pull myself back to remind myself. Don't get too far ahead of yourself, Spike. You know, you gotta keep up the wants to keep making sure you get 100% every time. Anyway, 何をするのが好きですか? What do you like? This is a conversation that we've joined seemingly halfway through. As this guy has joined the shop, obviously looking for something. Watashi wa saka o suru no ga suki desu. I like football. Dochira no kutsu ga suki desu ka? Which shoes do you like? Watashi wa kuroi kutsu no hu ga suki desu. I like these black boots or these black shoes. And then he asks, ikura desu ka? How much? So the shop assistant in the blue, rokuju euro desu. $60. 60 euros. Sorry. Let's go to the last slide and finish off this
コ
video.
ンサートのチケットはいくらですか?
How much was the concert ticket? Concert no chiketo ticket wa ikura desu ka? How much was it? He's going to say 40 euro because it's 40. 40, so that's 4. That's 4 tens. 4 tens in euros.
40ユーロです。
サンドイッチはいくらですか?
How much is this sandwich? Sandoichi wa ikura desu ka? That sandwich is 3 pondo desu because it's £3. Sans 3 pondo desu is pounds. Lovely.
3ポンドです。
オレンジジュースはいくらですか?
How much is this orange juice? Orange juice wa ikura desu ka? And it is $1 desu. Ichi being $1 being dollar and desu it is.
1ドルです。
And there we have it. That's today's lessons. That's today's modules. 66 correct on that bad boy. It's another 100%. We love it. We love to see it. Let's go to the home screen. Right, there we go. That's the listening and reading modules done for today. Again, sorry, it's a day later than I was anticipating, but you know, life gets in the way. And I've already prefaced this in previous videos. Today, the current climate at the moment until after the end of May is all still up in the air. So for the next month or so, the schedule will be a little bit higgledy-piggledy, but I will try to make uploads a still daily occurrence. But there may be the odd day or here where things happen where I can't make it. I'll have to go up the next day. So please appreciate that. I do apologize for slight tardiness when I'm attempting to make it a daily stream, of course. And trying to keep consistent and daily, you know, it's in the word. But you know, things are still very much all over the shop, which are out of my control. I am sort of on other agencies' timescales and such. So you know, it is what it is. I will make time for it as and when I can, as much as I possibly can. So that's the listening and reading modules done. Following on from the listening modules from the other day. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining. If you have tuned in and joined live on the live stream. If not, then thank you very much for making it this far in the video here on YouTube. If you have made it this far in the video here on YouTube as part of this learning series or this documentary series of me learning and teaching myself Japanese, just to show that it can be done. Thank you very much for watching. Your support is very much appreciated. If you are not a follower, please like, follow, share, and subscribe. You can find me at twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina. Both channels linked to each other on both platforms. So if you can find me on one, you can find me on the other. Keep your comments to the videos down below relevant to the lessons if you possibly can. It would be very much appreciated. It makes it easier to filter out and read. If you have any constructive feedback, criticisms, suggestions, things you'd like to see, etc., offers to play games, or so on and so forth, then please let me know. Again, comment in the videos below, or failing that, the best place to get hold of me is direct message on the Discord server that I have. Again, links are on the channels mentioned previously. You can find it in the bios and also on the video descriptions towards the end, as well as any other contact information you may require regarding my socials. And yeah, that's going to be all from me today. So that's a good little wrap up. We are going to crack on with the speaking module, hopefully tomorrow, which is Thursday. If not, it will be Friday. Either way, these three, the two speaking modules and the review module will be done by the end of this week, ready for the start of core lesson, unit 4, lesson 4, the end of this unit, potentially the end of the level 1 CD. Could be happening in the following week, and we may be finished by the end of April, which would be a great tie-in to when I started this last year. And the timeline it's taken to finish a whole disc with the units, with obviously the times that I've had off in between. If you took those 2 and a bit months in totality out, it would be the right timing for me to have been a year per disc, which is, you know, great news for how long it takes to kind of get into the basics of the language and teach yourself without any external help, with any external resource, without teachers in schools, etc. Obviously, being taught in school, it happens a lot quicker. But then regimented lessons, right? Every day for the year. So I think I've done pretty well so far. Seems to be going pretty well. But yes, the speaking modules will be completed along with the review this week. Coming forward, ready for core lesson 4. I think I will start that Monday next week, and then try to get through the last unit core lessons and module materials to end the disc potentially. Who knows? By the end of April, which I think is a reasonable goal considering there's 8 days left, 8-9 days left of April. I think we can smash this in that time period. I should find a way to do so. Anyway, that's all from me. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. Thank you very much for keeping with me and making this your self-taught Japanese learning channel. If that's the case and you're a Western speaker and you are looking for a very cheap, basic, easy, casual way to learning Japanese with some materials out there. Thank you for joining me. I hope you catch me again. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Twitch.tv/xofficina and youtube.com/xofficina. Your support is greatly appreciated. That's all from me. I hope to see you again soon, and yeah, we'll see how the next video goes. As always, take care, stay safe, keep sane, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.